gentlemen, Danny O'Flaherty.
Hey, all right. Oh my God. Oh, God love you. That's. It's wonderful to be back here in Dallas. Dallas is the Gaelic for Dallas. 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 Well, growing up on the Iron Islands, part of my life, and the other part was obviously in Connemara, where my dad is from. So tonight I will be, I'm a Gaelic speaker, and I will get to do some songs that I've written, co-written through the years about the islands in Gaelic and in English. And I'm not supporting, this is nothing that the Irish Tourist Board hasn't given me a penny for this. But I will be going into the history of the west of Ireland, some of it tonight, and it's nice to be able to do all your own songs, or songs that you've co-written, or you have a piece to do with it. Pete Seeger was great of finding songs and adding choruses and verses to them. He said songs are meant to be picked up in next generation, and you add another verse to it and just embellish it and keep on writing. Yeah. But I was born in 1951, and I was raised around the fireplace, I suppose, like most people in that time. I would say the last generation of the way the Irish were, from 1951 to 61. And then 62 we got the electricity and one channel TV, black and white, and there goes our culture. And we didn't have big windows either, but they went out the window, you know. Learned the music by the fireplace in my grandma's house. Uncle Mikey on the accordion and songs in Sean-Nós. Clancy making records, their voices and their songs. And I'm blessed to be with you tonight to pass the music on. And for the good times and the high times, the suffering and pain, it's a song of generation singing in my veins. I still hear that Sean-Nós music of good friends now long gone. We are here tonight to pass the music on. I come from a rich tradition in story and in song. Those long nights by the candlelight, we sing the whole night long. They're still alive inside my heart, although they're now long gone. And I'm blessed to be with you tonight to pass the music on. For the good times and the high times, the suffering and pain, it's a song of generation singing in my vein. I still hear that Sean-Nós music of good friends now long gone. We are here tonight to pass the music on. I sung these songs for some old friends never will forget. Sung them for an audience and folks we hardly met. So here we are together to celebrate this song. I'm blessed to be with you tonight to pass the music on. For the good times, woo, and the high times, woo, the suffering and pain, it's a song of generation singing in my veins. I still hear that, woo, Sean-Nós music of good friends now long gone. We are here tonight to pass the music on. Let's try it out. For the good times, oh, and the high times, the suffering and pain. It's a song of generation singing in my vein. I still hear that shallows music of good friends now long gone. We are here tonight to pass the music on. We are here tonight to pass the music on. Yeah, we come from a rich tradition, all right. And of course, a lot of changes for the past 70 years in the planet, you know. And I think sometimes we look around us and we're following the technology, and then we figure out this is moving too fast. But then we're caught way half upstream, and then we try to turn back to where we started. And when we go back to where we started, there's nothing left there either. You know, so all our teachers we had, around the fireplace we had for hundreds and thousands of years, they themselves have gone off to the beautiful land beyond the planet Earth, and they're having their hootenannies in Gaelic.
Do you have a song in Gaelic you can do for us?
Oh, of course I do. Yeah.
Because you didn't speak English till you were about 12. You spoke Gaelic all your life.
Gaelic, yeah. I immigrated to England in 1967, and I had to rehearse when I went to Galway, to ask for a ticket in English. You know, I'm going to London. I want to buy a ticket, so I had to learn that, rehearse it. So. We had a few bits of English, but we couldn't keep a conversation. So when we went to England, we worked around Connemara people, contractors, so we had our own places, pubs, this and that. So we didn't have to speak that much English there. And even if we tried to, it's very hard to do Cockney accent. I have cousins, their fathers and mothers from Connemara, and they got this Cockney accent, and oh my God, I said, my goodness gracious, this is a different language completely. But yeah, so we learned a few bits, and then of course we left England in '69 and decided to come to Chicago, and that's where I got my big break with the Irish Minstrels in Chicago in 1970-71. Started travelling. They were looking for an accordion player and play the whistle and harmonica, and didn't do any songs in English, mind you. I did a few songs in Gaelic, and I think there's one English song I sang. That's about it. But they didn't get me for singing. They got me to just play the music, you know. So it was absolutely wonderful. What happened to my life, and never turned back. You know. I'd like to, let me see, you know, I write a lot of songs in Gaelic, and I never get a chance to do them. And I'd like to, we all have vivid memories, some memories from when we were younger, when we growing up. And I have certain memories that have stuck to my brains all my life. And one day, when I think it was 8 or 9 years old, I was standing on the north side, looking towards Connemara, looking out at Connemara, the mainland. And that particular day was absolutely gorgeous. And in the summertime, that's when the boats would bring peat or turf to the island. For the islanders, so they would have fire for the winter. That's how we survived, by the turf fires and the peat. It was hard work, hard labour, and these boats would come from Connemara. They would come in the Glotug or Púchán. There was the anglicised name for them is the Galway hooker. And it's nothing to do with Bourbon Street, mind you. there's 4 classes of these boats. There's a Bodmore, Lawat, Shoal, Pukon, Glotug, and some of them would bring the turf to the island. And that particular day, there was 5 of them coming, maybe even 6, and they were going different directions. And the islanders now are very keen to see which bay will they come to, because they're going to keep on working till they get closer to the island, because depending on the winds and the currents, it will take 3 or 4 hours to cross that bay. And but they kept a keen eye, one eye working away, and because they're going to get the horse and the cart ready to go to the pier. So is the boat going to come to Kilivity? Is it going to go Killarney? Is it going to go to Kilronan? Or is it going to go to the middle island in Ishmael? So they would be, and then as the boats then would go spread out different directions, then they knew where they were going to. But it took a while because they were bunched up kind of in the beginning. So that particular day, I was absolutely blown away, and it stuck to my mind. So I've been writing a lot of Gaelic songs for the past couple of years. I guess we all been doing a lot of things for the past couple of years. Fiach, Bod Lochty Tíocht. Look, the Bod Lochty would call when they were filled up with turf, the Bod Lochty, we would call them at the time. So I'm going to do it for you, and you can probably try to you could do Fiach if you want to. Fiach means F-E-A-C-H. Fiach means look, tell the boats are coming. The turf boats are coming. Fiach lo Lochty Tíocht. Kudakugal Sedix, Kudagal Sheer. Some of them are going west, some of them are going east. Fiach, Bod Lochty Tíocht. Near Tad and Yisrael and Awak. There was nothing more beautiful than you could ever see. And so here's the I'll do it for you. O Shomesh Gilgi Boalam Maralev Nor a vi me Magasur Ishtin Aran War A Marlin da Crege Shavi me Lo Savra Danu Macher Chonamara War Lochti Ek Shol Chonig me peide Gwel himpel cian golden Pera cwele machas cwn yn i'r wor Cian machas cwn chasla Shafi me chiapa Go cian acw siwrolte go yn ysmon Fiach, Bod Lochty Tíocht. Kudakugal ser, gus kudagal sheer. Fiach, Bod Lochty Tíocht. Near a tad and Yisrael, nor walk do you. Viach muintir na heldan, o viach shedek fade. Mastu kilchon et jokodijan Kilivris Killarney Kilronan Shadurchir Go Kanak Kushuralte Go Edishman Fiach Bod Lochty Tíocht Kudakugal ser Gus Kudagal Sheer Fiach Bod Lochty Tíocht Near a tad and Yisrael nor walk a turio. Fiach na fairy was ag fanacht Good to Cochlan Wara Mar Vachshen Yisheska le Kahamach Fod Bích páric jo waikín leis a chór capel sa ísad an géh le ceannacht an bhún. Fíoch bod lochtaí ag tíocht cuid a cúbal sed gus cuid a gáil siar. Fíoch bod lochtaí ag tíocht ar a tád ní sáile nár wacadúriau. Nach des bhí an lásin nuair a bhí mé mo chasúr. Istich in áran beag amach ar bháid seol. Bhíoch muinte na héileán ó bhíoch siad chasásta. Bei mún le haintinne leis an dhéimre fór. Fíoch bod lochtaí ag tíocht cuid a cúgal sed gus cuid a gáil siar. Fíoch bod lochtaí ag tíocht ar a tád ní sáile nár wacadúriau. Fíoch bod lochtaí ag tíocht cuid a cúgal sed gus cuid a gáil siar. Fíoch bod lochtaí ag tíocht ar a tád ní sáile nár wacadúriau.
I just had this funny, idea of, you growing up Gaelic Pentecostal and a message coming in Pentecostal. I could just see this thing getting out of hand.
You better watch what you're saying, because we chased the snakes out of Ireland. Oh, Jeffers, now you could. That's a good one. That's a good one. Not to worry. No worries, as I say, no worries. But it's. I suppose listen. We in Ireland we call God. We don't call him God. We call him himself or herself. But mostly we say himself. He puts a lot of us down here on this real estate called Earth, and he gave us different colours and different languages and different music and different food and different everything. And he says, "Okay, guys, figure it out." It's as simple as that. It's the Gaelic Bible. Yeah, it is. And but the sad thing about is, life is about balance and progress. There's nothing wrong with progress as long as you keep a balance who you are, where you came from. A lot of people. I was in Ireland there 15 years ago, and I was doing a show like this, and I was doing a little bit of a monologue on the history, and one guy shouted out, "Come on, sing the song, we know all about that." I said, "Oh, yeah, we know all about that. This is now, that we don't live back in those days anymore. We're different now." I said, "The reason you're different now, the reason you're here now is because of them that put you here. So don't you forget where you came from. None of us need to forget. And once we know who we are, where we came from, and the goods and the bads, no, don't hide anything. Just put it out there, and let the people figure it out themselves, and guide them, and that's it. And that's missing. There's a missing link going on here, in a lot of stuff. Now, I'm not a philosopher or a professor of anything. I'm just an old Gaelic man, just do the right thing, but learn who you are first, And there was, I liked when I went to the convent in Carna, the nuns were trying to teach us poetry in English, and of course we didn't know. That's foreign to us, But some of the poetry, some of the poems were stuck to us. We didn't learn them completely, but we didn't know what they meant. So we just learned them. Just what does it mean? And later on in the years, there was a few of those poems that I said, "Oh my God, I love this one here." Because there's so many people homeless on the planet. And people don't have homes. and some people just want a little shack, a little house and fireplace and a lamp. You know, it's a simple. A roof that doesn't leak. Yeah, that would be nice. So, there's a great Irish poet and Porrick column, Colum. If you think about googling it later, because Porrick, P-A-R-A-I-C, Porrick, which is Gaelic for Patrick, column, C-O-L-U-M, Porrick column. And one of these poems I loved, and later on in years I found out the meaning of it, and in my travels, then you can see the happenings, you know. Oh, to have a little house, to own the hearth and stool and all, the heaped up sods upon the fire, the pile of turf against the wall. To have a clock with weights and chains and pendulums swinging up and down, a dresser filled with shining delf, speckled and white and blue and brown. I could be busy all the day, cleaning and sweeping hearth and floor, and fixing on the shelf again my speckled white and blue bestowr. Oh, but I'm weary of mist and dark, and roads where there's never a house nor bush, and tired I am of bog and roads, and the crying wind and the lonesome hush. And I am praying to God on high, and I am praying him night and day for a little house, a house of my own, out of the winds and the rain's way. Wow. You know, simple, yeah. You know, it's things like that. I like to, when the Celts came to Ireland around between 500 and 600 BC, around that period, some historians will tell you it was even maybe a little bit, maybe it was around 300. We came in from the continent. Obviously, most tribes, Europe was not formed yet, the countries and all that back 3,000 years ago was just big, vast lands with tribes moving, going west. And we lived for 400 or 500 years. We lived on the Black Sea in western Ukraine, would you believe it? And we lived in the Rhine Valley where Germany is. And a French philosopher, professor said one time, all the mountains and rivers in Germany are Celtic names, and all the cities and towns in France are Celtic. So we lived in many places before we ended up coming to Ireland, and we're still scattered all over the world today. And in Europe, there's lots of places in Europe that we're still the Celtic artifacts can be found in the museums, and in Belgium, in Austria, and those places. And it's amazing how. Sometimes I wish, as much as I'm not so fond of technology, that camera that followed. We had cameras back to follow the tribes when they start moving. Wouldn't that be nice to have But there's a book called, and I want you to get this book. It's called The Celtic Empire from 1000 BC to 700 AD. It's like 1000. And I've been reading it. It's a really good book. But you'll find the tribes and how they were living in those areas, and how the other tribes were moving in, and this and that. And the same shenanigans that's going on today was going on then. So when people say, well, we don't want to know anything about the past, we can learn a lot about ourselves, And even Caesar gave it away on us. He wrote about the Celts, and then everybody else found out how easy we could be beaten in the battlefield. They're fierce fighters. They'll attack you, but if they don't win the first time, then you got them. Yeah. So Caesar wrote that down about us, and we never won the battle since. Except when we came to America, we were part of the American Revolution. We won that battle for sure. Oh yeah. But they came to, they had boats made out of animal hides, and they would have some sort of a glue that those plants don't grow anymore. They died out in the probably in 400 or 500. I think it's the 3rd century. Those plants would grow plentiful, and these plants, you would get them together and you make glue out of them. When Timothy Severin crossed the Atlantic in 1976 to prove that St. Brendan took monks across from Ireland, he left Kerry to Newfoundland and down the east coast of America, they built a replica of the curragh, of the boat that they would have used back then. A bigger version, mind you. And they used everything except they couldn't get that glue. And they found somewhere in Wales, they found some of the stuff, but the plant had died out. So it took him a year to cross from Ireland to Newfoundland, and he did it. It was proven. But these boats, I grew up on these boats, and I have 8 of them at my house in Jasper, because I got the Irish boat builders coming out from Ireland to New Orleans, so to row on these boats on Lake Pontchartrain. We did it for years, and I still have the boats. They have canvas on them now, but I have beautiful. I have 5 of them made out of cypress wood. Oh, much lighter than the oak. Oh, they're beautiful boats. And I crossed Lake Pontchartrain 3 times. Twice on my own, which broke every. I didn't have any skin left in my hands. But I Connemara means where my dad is from. Connemara, the tribe of the oceans. We're a tribe of the ocean. So the people that settle where I come from are seafaring people. So it's that's who we are, And we did a bit of farming as well, but we're more of a seafaring people. That's what Connemara means. And I'll do this one here. It's called cedar and oak, and that's how you built a curragh. And I was up in Connecticut some years ago doing a festival, and there's a guy named I think it's Michael Kennedy. I think his last name is Kennedy, anyways, and he gave me the song, and unbelievable, someone up in New London, Connecticut, gave me a song about curraghs, and it was really good. So I kind of went over it and changed it around, and added a few verses and whatever. But it's about the curragh. Curragh means unsteady. So there's no keel on it. So when you go into that boat, if you don't know what you're doing, don't go into the boat. You cannot be drinking Baileys and going into that curragh. There's many the song of a fisherman's life. There's many the story of a fisherman's wife, who scans the horizon from morning till night, till the dark belly curragh comes into her side. The curragh she needs no harbour nor pier. She sits on stone cradle till the weather is clear. Head up on your shoulder and take her to sea. Our skin boats been with us throughout history. Cedar and oak, canvas and tar, that's how we built a curragh. We built our boats as our fathers before, and we rowed them upon the high waters. The Romans invaded the Bretons by sea, with concrete and marble, so it would seem. After 500 years they went back to Gaul. The curraghs outlasted Hadrian's wall. Then came the long ships out of the north, to plunder and pillage the Vikings held fort. 'Twas at O'Clontofft they paid for the prize. We'd not seen a long ship for quite a long time. Cedar and oak, canvas and tar, that's how we built a curragh. We built our boats as our fathers before, and we rowed them upon the high waters. Britannia, she thought she could rule all the waves. To build up an empire she surely did crave. But on that wide empire, its sun has now set, the Curraghs outlasted, and there see them yet. From Galway to Kerry and over the main, they're rowing the Curraghs on Lake Pontchartrain. When the raising is on, it's time for the crack. We walk to the pubs with the boats on our backs. Cedar and oak, canvas and tar, that's how we built a Curragh. We built our boats as our fathers before, and we rowed them upon the high waters. Cedar and oak, canvas and tar, that's how we built a Curragh. You sing it away. We sailed and we crossed the high wall. Come on, do it again. Cedar and oak, canvas and tar, that's how we built a Curragh. We built our boats like our fathers before, and we sailed them across the wide wall. Oh, you're good. I was leaving on your own there. Yeah, I can't. You know, I can't believe it.
A while ago, you needed a chorus.
You too. Oh my goodness gracious.
We're great.
I'd like to this time do another Gaelic song, and sometimes in life if we're lucky enough, we will meet our soulmate. You know, Anam Cara in Gaelic, Anam Cara, and it's the easiest thing in the world, you know, when you meet that person, you know, because not that the other people are bad or nothing. It's just you need to meet your soulmate, and it's easy. It's so easy after that, and
It is?
It totally is. I used I met my soulmate by pure accident. You know, it just was not even looking. You know, neither was she, and so I wrote her the song, and we got married in Ireland, on the Aran Islands. And we got married in St. Kieran's Church. St. Kieran's got probably the biggest monastic settlement in Clonmacnoise. And when you go to Ireland, it's one of the places that everybody spiritually you go to, St. Kevin's, so I like to do this for my wife Lisa, who is presently making her way from Newfoundland to Toronto.
She's actually watching the show on Facebook right now.
Hey, Lisa.
Hi, Lisa.
And this is a great way to say hi, Lisa, right?
Hey, Lisa.
From Texas with love.
Yeah.
With love, and I know that she's a very, very one of a kind person. Like she's very, very worldly, universal about things, and she speaks the truth. She doesn't go around the bushes. She's out front, and sometimes when people are truthful like that, some people cannot handle it. Some people just they go around the bushes for hours and hours and make up all kinds of nonsense stuff. And then here's the himself above. He sprinkles people on the planet, on this real estate called Earth. He sprinkles people like her, and there's in different parts of the country and county and parish and continent. And it's beautiful because those people are just, there's something about them that is so good. And they can be easily hurt as well. And that's not a good thing. When you have a free spirit like that, that's not contaminated, people sometimes, there's a lot of envy involved in that. Humans are wicked at that, aren't they? We're wicked, and there's not a sermon that can straighten us out sometimes. It doesn't matter what denomination it is. So anyways, but she's a special person, and she's done so much for so many people. So this is for my beautiful wife, who is coming back to Texas on Monday, and we're going to heal her up. And we're going to heal her up, and so she can sprinkle more magic. More magic. Shen a chonig me hu bi sagam go tu vi on ach ni roche kart hier lechele ni roche nangon eten tom is tu banam kara tomorrow gal mochri khodes berot mot lechele manam kara mustor mochri Onigishen etzeme to wem vi wegnes emochri Jeros hagen gemacht muss lechele richt Shadurt me nachnan chui Es tu manam kara Tomachra gal mochri Chodin spirot mut lechele manam kara mustor mochri Dalan yes vi tu fanachlam Nirasagam gratuam Achor spirot mot lechele Agus hog tu the law Is tu manam kara Tomorrow gal mochri Chor spirot mot lechele Manam kara mustor mochri Stichen aren for mut poster Example hieran was an art de ver for me on fanye Manam kara mo vida gra Is tu manam kara Tomorrow gal mochri Chwer spirot mot lechele Manam kara mustor mochri Neve Kieran, Saint Kieran, and you're from Kilkieran. Kill is the Gaelic for the chapel, Kill. So you'll find a lot places in Ireland called Kill. Kill is the chapel, a church. The Church of Kieran, Saint Kieran. I said Kevin earlier. It's not Kevin, it's Kieran. And anyways, there's a lot of... I was driving down the road about 5 or 6 years ago, and I was going to visit my friend Ted Walker, who lives 9 miles away from me. And I put on the radio, and there was two guys, two presenters talking to each other. I guess it's one of those talk shows with music and all that. And one guy says to the other, he says, "When is the last time you whistled?" And the other guy says, "Well, I don't know. I haven't whistled for a long time." I said, "My goodness." Well, he says, "When's the last time you hummed a song or hummed something?" "Yeah, I haven't been humming either." And he says, "When's the last time you smelled the roses?" And the guy says, "I don't. I haven't done that. My life is very, busy, and I don't have time." So I think I broke the speed limit trying to. I said, "This is a great song involved in this, and so I decided to ran into the house. I said, "Ted, we got to write something. Oh, sorry, we got to write something quick." I hear this, and you can. This is a much easier chorus than the Gaelic one.
We'll do it right in.
Something's been missing that didn't used to be. Traveling down those freeways, saying that I'm free. Then I come to realize I'm driving in a cage, on the road to nowhere, catching up with age. I told my friends around me, what we need is more. I know because I've been there, it's just more stuff to store. Chasing down that rainbow with all that we can spend. It is the road to nowhere, and it doesn't have an end. It's time to smell the roses and feel the morning dew. Hum along and whistle, know that heaven lives in you. Hum along and whistle as we sing a merry song. And now it's time to smell the roses as we sing along. Come on, try. It's the time to smell the roses and feel the morning dew. Ho! Hum along and whistle, know that heaven lives in you. Woo! Hum along and whistle as we sing a merry song. Now it's time to smell the roses as we sing. You got it. I want to hear the children's laughter and whistle a merry tune. I want to hear the birds sing softly, smell the roses as they bloom. We'll hum with heaven's chorus, let the wind sing our song. Now is my forever when my heart gets back home. Come on now. It's time. Woo! And feel the more. Oh yeah, this is happy now. Hum along and whistle. Know that heaven lives in you. Oh yeah. Hum along and whistle as we sing a merry song. Now it's time to smell the roses as we sing along. Let's try the whistlers. Woo! Oh, Lord, I tell you. You like that extra beat, didn't you? Like that? Yeah, you can't get away with anything around here, I tell you. We have professional concert goers here. Yeah. Yeah, they're watching every step.
Well, you didn't know you were going to entertain professionals.
I did not know that. I know, Randy, and I don't. And it's going to take me a couple of days to process this. Because Helen and Randy, my goodness gracious, you guys have built a wonderful place. Oh, I love this room here. It's absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. And thank you for coming as well. This is... It's really cool. I have a sister in England, Mary. She when I was in Ireland 4 weeks ago, I did a tour. I do tours again since things are starting to get back to sort of normal. And she flew over from England to see me, and we had a great time with my other sister Anne-Marie and my two brothers, and my nephew and his kids, and they were all dancing and playing everything, including the leg of the chair, as I say. It's a very musical family, and we had a great night there. I had 32 friends from all over the United States with me on this tour a month ago. And I'm going back again in October, so you're all invited to come. Right. Yeah, I'm buying a lottery ticket tonight.
You're going to go by the boat?
No, we're not going to row. No. We're taking an aeroplane. But there's I'll do this one here for my sister Mary, and goodness gracious, I was trying to think of a song for her because Mary is a very sensitive person, and she's going through a bit of a hard time at the moment, and I'm trying to come up with a song that would make her feel good, and maybe this one here. For you, Mary, you're over in London at the moment, and if you're watching this streaming concert from the music room, I hope you are. If you ever wonder, I'm reaching for the stars, or why I'm on that road to that place too far, and if you're sometimes thinking why I always smile, or why there is a way to go another mile. The cares of tomorrow sometimes disappear. No one seems all we know, has with no fear. There's always a rainbow for you and I to see, 'cause I believe in you. It is the perfect world, our love, can't you see? Oh, I believe in you, and you believe in me. Two hearts as one, forever it will be. I believe in you, and you believe in me. It is a perfect world, our love, can't you see? Oh, I believe in you, and you believe in me. Two hearts as one, forever it will be. I'm going to make up a verse. Is that okay? Just I. I was thinking, Mary, what song I would sing to you, because I know down in your heart you're hurting, but you know I'll always love you. You have so many friends around you, just take them by the hand, because they believe in you, Mary. Come on, give us your hand. I believe in you, and you believe in me. It is the perfect world, our love, can't you see? Oh, I believe in you, and you believe in me. Two hearts as one, forever it will be. I believe in you, and you believe in me. Two hearts as one, forever it will be. I believe in you, and you believe in me. That's for Mary. I haven't done this song for a long time. Myself and Ted co-wrote the song some time ago, and I know I made a few lyric mistakes, but I was just trying to be like Mac Davis, making them up. Was he? Oh, thank you. So how much I know I'm long-winded when I'm telling stories and all that, and you told me to do an hour. I don't even know what time it is. Is it?
Don't worry about it.
Don't.
Keep going.
Oh, you don't mind? Oh my God.
We threw our watches away while ago.
Well, that's good because live streaming, I didn't know how that worked. You know.
Do a couple of more tunes, and then let's take a break for a few minutes and sell a few CDs, and
Yeah.
come back, and we'll see if we can, maybe we can even get some folks back that might not have planned to stay for the second set. You never know.
You sing, we'll stay.
You know, there
Oh.
we go.
There you go.
Well, God love you. Thank you so much indeed. I like the history. I like world history, but the Irish history. The Battle of Clontarf in 1014. That's when I think it was the last time the Irish really got together and beat the Vikings in the Battle of Clontarf 1014. And Brian Boru, he was from County Clare, his family from Dalhosh. And I just found out about 4 or 5 years ago, the O'Flahertys, my clan are in Connemara area, Galway, and then Connemara. We used to have Galway too, but they chased us to Connemara. But Brian Boru's mother was O'Flaherty. So when he was gathering up a lot of the people, tribes to follow him to go up to Clontarf in 1014, the O'Flahertys had no choice but to go. He says, "I'm married. My mother's O'Flaherty. You better come. I'm going to attack you." But it's a great story about what happened in the Battle of Clontarf. And there's a saying in the Gaelic: Wari Brian Bruder us Wari Bruder Brian. They both kill each other at the same time as the people. I mean, they have all these movies coming out about the Vikings, and they were great seafarers, and they discovered Iceland and Greenland and parts of Newfoundland, the settlement in Newfoundland. I just don't think they were that good, Yeah, and the reason I'm saying that is because the Battle of Clontarf, their longboats, they had the big Viking longboats. Well, that's where they landed for the battle, and when King Brian Boru was with the Irish armies were defeating them, they were chasing them towards the water to their longships. But by the time they reached the longships, the tide was gone out. So I mean, the good seafaring people wouldn't let that happen, No, they wouldn't at all. Or, sure, the Irish wouldn't do things like that. But, as they were retreating, the tent that Brian Boru was in, the Viking king, Bruder, recognized it was the High King of Ireland was in this tent, whatever, and they both start fighting, and the axe and the sword, and they both kill each other at the same time. So, yeah, that's a true story. And that's so we have a saying in style, the Hayden, the history of, we call history, style and the Hayden. The history of Ireland, Wari Brian Bruder was Wari Bruder Brian. Yeah, hey. I don't know, somebody used to tell me years ago when I was telling these stories, he used to say, Danny, thank you so much for your useless information. Days of plunder, the Danes came a Viking up Irish rivers in blood search of gold. When killed the Luton that was sank by the longships, a young man swore vengeance, the story is told. The years they passed grimly as Brian grew to manhood. The Norsemen in spoil search laid all Munster bare, and Brian the bold put back all of the province, leading a hosting of clansmen from Clare. Out of the dimness of old Irish legend rides the bold hero, his sword gleaming bright. The darling of Druids, the scourge of his foemen, he carved Irish daylight out to dark. I keep dropping that pick. Dreaming a dream of one Ireland, marched to the Midlands and to the North too, accepting the tributes of all he did meet there. Our lad earned a new name, bold Brian Boru. As Celtic time passed, his glory grew stronger among Gaelic clans all Ireland around. From Bantry to Derry, honoured as High King, except by the Vikings in old Dublin town. Out of the dimmest of old Irish legend rides a bold hero, his sword gleaming bright. The darling of Druids, the scourge of his foemen, he carved Irish daylight out to dark night. 10 he swung into his talon, and called one last folding to fight one last fight. After 200 years of Viking invaders, Boru's Irish swords vowed to put matters right. In the year of our Lord 1014, they stormed the Dane bastion with all of their might, and Clontarf's blue waters ran red with their valour as bold Brian legions put the strangers to fight. Out of the dimmest of old Irish legend rides a bold hero, his sword gleaming bright. Woo! The darling of Druids, the scourge of his foeman, he carved Irish daylight out to dark night. Out of the dimmest of old Irish legend rides a bold hero, his sword gleaming bright. The darling of Druids, the scourge of his foeman, he carved Irish daylight out to dark night. Thank you. Short intermission. It's a huge problem with Irish people. We do get carried away. We do. We're very. They call it tebun. We're fast on the draw kind of thing. You know, we're trying to. I've been learning for 71 years to relax, and still I haven't been able to do it.
Let me know when you figure out how.
Yes, the wee girl. What's your name?
Sophia.
Sophia. I just did children's shows over in New Roads, Louisiana, a couple of days ago. Did 5 schools. I did Morganza, Livonia, Ennis, Rogan, and New Roads, and it was absolutely brilliant to be among the children. I love being among that innocence of, you know, if we could just leave them alone, leave that innocence alone, for goodness sake. You know, we humans, we're grown-ups, we just contaminate those children. Leave them alone. Give a generation of innocence a chance, you know. We tried everything else. Go back to basics. You know, yeah. So, anyways, one of the things that they loved me to do is they're asking me always as a curiosity of the fairies. That's a big subject, the leprechaun and the fairies. My goodness gracious. And I told them this, you know, people laugh at us all over the planet, but when they go to Ireland, they find out for themselves how real it is. And it's very real for us. Maybe we don't see them, but they're around us. They're in the mounds, they're in the fairy circles, and there's fairy trees. And about, I think it was 10, 15 years ago, they were building a superhighway from Galway down to Limerick, that way down to the airport in Shannon. They were building big, and there was a fairy tree in the way, and nobody would touch it. The bulldozers, they all stopped, and there's a big discussion in Ireland about what we're going to do with this fairy tree. Nobody wants to touch it. Nobody wants to touch it. So finally, after 3 or 4 weeks of meetings, they decided they would continue building the highway around the tree. Yes. And it took a while, but they had a lot of Guinness meetings going on. Oh yeah. So, but up till technology has kind of put us in a different planet completely. Little boys would wear dresses till you were 4 years old because the fairies would take the boys off to their, the underground playland and whatever. So moms would put dresses. I wore a dress till I was 4 years old. And if you research it, just look at the dresses boys are wearing in Ireland up to the 1960s. And I was embarrassed about it because I didn't want to tell anybody I wore a dress, But I'm really proud of it now, I wore. I'm really proud I wore a dress till I was 4 years old, and the fairies didn't get me. And sometimes I wish maybe I should have gone with them anyways, But so there's all kinds of stories like that about the fairies, and it's not the Hollywood fairies now. See, they dance all the time. They dance and they're full of life. And the only industrious person among them is the cobbler, the shoemaker. And in their language, the cobbler is called leprechaun. That's what this leprechaun means. He's a cobbler, a shoemaker. Oh yes, indeed. So I'll do this one. I wasn't going to do it with Sonia. I'm going to do it for you. But I want everyone to join in with me because I did this. I've been doing this all week over in New Roads, Louisiana. So here it is. You have to repeat after me. Fiddly diddly. Fiddly diddly. Catch and riddle me. Catch and riddle me. Quick. Or I'll be gone. Diddly diddly. Catch and riddle me. I'm a leprechaun. That's wonderful. This is like doing the rosary here. Oh. Okay, that's it. Oh, fiddly diddly, catch and riddle me, quicker I'll be gone. Diddly diddly, catch and riddle me, I'm a leprechaun. Back in Ireland, in the days of old, there lived a wee man, seldom seen anymore. He stood St. Jesus high, always dressed in green, a master of magic, the best you've ever seen. Wearing silver buckles or golden bells, you could hear him singing through the dells. Oh, fiddly diddly, catch and riddle me, quicker I'll be gone. Diddly diddly, catch and riddle me, I'm a leprechaun. Well, when I was a boy, when once I was told about the leprechaun and his pot of... Oh, we had golden sovereigns and more of this. If you catch this leprechaun, he'd grant you... But catching this leprechaun was hard, I fear. Whenever he was seen, he would always disappear. Oh, fiddly diddly, catch and riddle me, quicker I'll be gone. Diddly diddly, catch and riddle me, I'm a leprechaun. You can say I was silly, or you can call me a liar, but one night in the woods, yes, I saw a fire. So I thought I would get closer and have a peek. And through the woods I started to creep. To my surprise, around the fire, sitting in the ring, was a score of leprechauns, and I heard them saying, "Ho! Diddly diddly, catch and riddle me quick. Diddly." Oh my goodness gracious, it's wonderful. So I thought I'd wait till they finish having their fun, and when they go to sleep, maybe I could catch me one. All tired from dancing, maybe down by a lot. And I caught one tight, and he turned into a frog. All wet and slippery. From his hands he did spring. As he hopped to the woods, I could hear him sing, "Oh, fiddly diddly, catch a riddly, quicker I'll be gone. Diddly diddly, catch a riddly, come on, louder, oh, fiddly, quicker I'll be gone. Diddly diddly, catch and riddle me, I'm a leprechaun." Where's Sonia? Huh? Oh, Sophia. Oh, Sophia. I'm sorry, Sophia. I'm getting the saints wrong. I'm getting the names wrong tonight. God love you. You're welcome indeed. Just a short intermission, and I have 75,000 CDs available.